More bad news for the CAQ government in the polls this week. They're continuing to lose ground to the PQ, despite some recent short-fused behavior by Paul St. Pierre Plamondon, leader of the PQ. PQ is still in first place, but here's the more interesting thing. Pallas data this week in their poll shows that the CAQ isn't even second. They're now third, behind the leaderless Liberal Party. So let's take a look at that poll that came out this week. Dr. Joseph Angolano is the founder and CEO of Pallas Data, and he's on the line. Dr. Angolano. Joseph, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Elias.
So you did this poll, and it's our good friend Philip J. Fournier, right, at QC 125, 338 Canada. You guys did this poll together. Could you just tell me why this poll came about?
Well, we do periodic polling in Quebec, and decided to do it, we decided to do it this time. And what we found out was that the PQ still maintained their lead, and as you mentioned, Paul St. Pierre Plamondon decided to, in his speech, to talk about having a referendum for sure by 2030, and that the federal political regime is doing a lot of damage for Quebec. So what happens, what's reflected in our polling is that, people went back, especially the non-Francophone community, decided to park their votes with the Liberals. It's time to propel them to second place at 23%.
So there have been some questions asked about that, right? That perhaps your poll has the Liberals too high. People were surprised to see them up there. What can you tell us about that? What's the explanation? Because it does seem to be a bit of an outlier compared to some other polling that we see.
Sure. What it speaks to is that political brand power matters, especially for a political party. In Quebec, the Liberal Party is known as the defenders of hard federalism. So when you have the leader of the Parti Québécois saying we're going to have a referendum if we get elected for sure, Federalists who didn't have a place to go or were parking their vote elsewhere have now decided to say, you know what, yeah, I'm going to vote Liberal this time if an election were held today. Is this a sign that the Liberals are back? Probably not. I mean, if it just takes a speech to spook Federalists and Anglophones back to the Liberal Party to take that response in a poll, it's probably not going to be permanent. But it is what it is. This is what brand power can do sometimes for a political party.
That brand power and that bump, was it across the province or in just certain parts of the province for the Liberals?
It was entirely among the non-Francophones. So my previous polling in January, I had the Liberals at 48% among non-Francophones. In this poll, it jumped up to 67%. This rise is due entirely due to non-Francophones saying in the survey that they're voting Liberal. That's it.
That's it. It comes down to the non-Francophone vote. So I imagine regionally that comes down to Montreal.
Yeah, I mean, it is Montreal. I mean, they did show the recovery mostly on the island, but Liberal. They did manage to nudge into second place in the suburbs. The PQ are first with 34%. Liberals are second at 28. CAQ are third at 22. That's not good news. Obviously, the CAQ would want to do better, especially there. That's where they win their majorities. But rest of Quebec, it's still very much looks the same as before.
I'm looking at some of the regional breakdowns here, and I see. So it's interesting. Montreal basically now a two-way race between the Liberals and the PQ. Quebec City, two-way race, but it's the PQ and the Conservative Party of Quebec. Can we talk a little bit about that? Because it seems like the squeeze really is on the CAQ. It may be a different party depending on the region, but it seems like they're the ones that are taking the hits here.
Yeah, they're the ones taking the hits. I mean, the appeal of the CAQ was always, look, we're past the debate of sovereignty and federalism. We're a nationalist party. No referendum ever. But they've always said, but if things change, maybe. But right now, no, we're fine. But you're never going to be dealing with a referendum while we're in government. So they were finding that third way, and it's been successful for 2 elections. So they found that middle ground between that binary choice that the Liberals and the PQ have been presenting in Quebec for seemingly ever, 50 years now, more. But that said, now that the Pequistes are back, it's expected that you're going to see that other every action creates another reaction. So it's not a surprise to me to see the Liberals bounce back a little bit, despite not even having a leader. So where does that leave? So with that hard binary choice, being thrust in front of Quebec again, thanks to Plamondon, it makes sense that we see this binary choice appearing in this hard binary choice appearing in front of voters again with voter intent. So where does that leave the CAQ? It kind of leaves them out, right?
One just quick technical question. When you do polling in Quebec, do you just mention the party name, or do you do party name and leader when you ask the question?
I do party name and leader.
Party name and leader always. Okay, great. Dr. Angolano, thanks so much for coming on the program this morning. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for having me.
That's Dr. Joseph Angolano, the founder and CEO of Pallas Data.